Just getting set up here, guys. Giving some people a chance to come in the chat. We need some background music. Alec, I don't know if you're on, buddy. Do you want to post that in our chat that we're on with that link? So for those of you that are watching as people kind of trickle in, I went long some dragon here. Now I'm going to come out of right now. It was like $400 in this. Just bought into this dip. I'm talking about it on Twitter. Long about 300,000. I'm just going to come out of most of that right now. Still, I'll stay a little bit long. I've just been trading euro versus the pound back and forth. You can kind of see my BTC here, short one lot. And so it's been pretty difficult to get covered up here without paying the spread. What's up, Scotty? So if you look, you guys should be able to see this. If you look at the spread here on BTC, the offer side 79.50, the bid side 78.85. I was the bid. I think somebody jumped in front of me. But I just, I talked about this morning, it's just we're in this downtrend. So you could see I was offering to sell a little bit more here. If you guys remember, this was kind of that head fake earlier in the week. So I was trying to sell a little bit up there. This is all just near-term trading. And then I sold some, I got lifted on some this morning. I'm just trying to cover it back. So this is the first week I've been trading BTC through a broker, Forex broker. The spreads have been pretty crappy. But I mean, the spread will sometimes work in your favor. Like if somebody wants to come in, you guys understand that, right? When you have tight spreads, like over here in FX, you can get in and out. I mean, I can basically hit the bid or lift the offer, and I only maybe pay 1 or 2 pips. So you can get in and out really quickly, which is great for more high frequency trading, where you're you can really trade around the 1 minute and get aggressive. It's funny, you get these little trolls all the time that come across Twitter that have like 5 followers that think that when they see me cover for like 4 pips, that they think that's bad trading. What they don't realize is that I'm working a core position that I might hold, like here on Dragon. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I might hold on Dragon here for, let's just see what this went for. 49.53. There's 30 pips right there with inside of 15 minutes, 15, 30 minutes. But inside of those 5-minute bars are a lot of 1-minute moves. I mean, here's the chart of just the 1 minute on euro versus the pound. This is a 5-minute. You can get inside of these bars. Short, cover. Any big trader, you kidding me? All the size that goes through the Forex market, there's a market maker is offering, getting lifted, putting bids below the market, coming out. I mean, there's only 6 pips there, but when you're levered up 100 to 1, 200 to 1, you can get $6,000 bucks, $600 inside of a minute. And that's higher probability trades. I'm not sitting on a trade for 3 days hoping, wishing that I'm going to hit a home run for 50 pips. I can get inside here and go to work and pull out money every single day. I mean, I can treat the market like an ATM that way. These guys that want to put 1 to 2 lots on, and then they want to talk about how they made 60 pips on a pair that over an entire week. I mean, great. Well, you can trade around a core position and do that over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'd take 3 to 6 pips 100 times a day instead of trying to make 6,000 pips over a month, and maybe you get your market move, maybe you don't. So this is how market makers trade. This is my market making approach, trading around a position. It's not, looking at one lot and being like, wow, you sold $1 million and you covered it for 4 pips. Yeah, there's $400 there, and I might have did that in literally 20 seconds. It's just these guys. It's just amazing the opinions that people have, and then they hide behind a username. They don't even have their real name out there. What are you guys trading? What's up, Santiago? Dims. We got the usual crew up to no good in here. What are you guys trading? Is anybody short BTC with me? We got Sup Sky Touch. We got Stan. You guys doing good? What's up, Mail? Santiago, are you playing all those long? You got out at 7,800? That's good. That's good. I'm having troubles getting filled here. We had a pretty good call though, right? I mean, on the actual cash side, on the cash side, what did we signal? All right. Yeah, it was a good call. Thank you. I think we're due for a strong upper movement soon. Yeah. I'm kind of 50-50. It kind of goes either way here. Ooh, 0x. I like that. Is that Felix Kachu? Yeah, pretty good shorts this morning. Here's on the cash side what I did. Intermediate term, the market is really it just has lost all of its energy. This has got to be like one of the slowest weeks from like an energy perspective. Don't you guys feel like that too? It's just slow. I mean, if we don't hold 7,300, I think it's going to drop pretty quickly into these lows, into the 6,000 area. And then we should expect a short squeeze though if we get above 9100 easily. I mean, you could easily squeeze us back towards 12. That's probably the trade. Those are two clear pivots. I call that kind of the inside levels. So when I used to do work with treasury traders, they want support and resistance. This is my inside levels. This is my outside levels. Makes sense, right? 6,000, 12,000. That's a double. And then you've got 7,300 to kind of basically 9,300, give or take, right? So you got 2,000 points in between the inside levels, 6,000 points in between the big picture level. And that's just where, I mean, that's pretty well, that defines the market really well right now. You know, should take a picture of that actually. I'm going to cover some euro pound, and I'm sure. So let's get into some other coins if you guys want. I'm just saving this chart while I got it drawn. The coin's called 42. Waves, huh? I've never traded that one. I've never traded waves. I didn't really look into the GDP numbers, guys, this morning. If you want to talk big picture, all right, we can look at EOS, and Quantum. I looked a little bit at ICX. Ooh, I haven't looked at PIVX. How are your guys' master nodes going? I talked to Gio a little bit yesterday. He's getting some similar ones that you guys are in. But Scott, you're doing master nodes with PIVX, right? Well, what I was going to say about GDP is the market took it like GDP is accelerating. I think that's just a one-off number. I got to kind of look at it year to date versus last year. But I still think the odds are GDP is going to slow on the margin. I mean, not like in a dramatic fashion, but we've kind of come off the peak of GDP, and then it's probably going to roll back down. I think the odds that we go from like 2 point whatever we were today, maybe down half a basis point, or 5 basis points, 10 basis points in the back half of the year. I think bond yields have kind of started to sniff that out already. We'll see. I'll do some more work on GDP a little bit later. Guys, let me know if BTC starts to crack down on the downside. I missed this little bounce on the euro to short. Cable just kind of had a nice little failure. Took good profits there on that dragon bounce. We'll stay with crypto here. Mayo, this BTC chart, yeah, 4 hour. Right up here. I covered BTC a little bit. Let's get into some of these others. Where do you guys chart waves on Bittrex? Well, waves versus the dollar. Yeah, you know, waves is coming back into its big picture lows. February 6th low, where the market made its low, is kind of its low. $4. I think you can start to nibble there. You know where your risk is, you know, below 350. Got nice tight risk. You got a lot of reward. You could easily double off these lows. Easily. I kind of like that one. I like that one. So there was that I liked this morning. I thought RDN looked interesting. 0x. 0x, I'm kind of waiting on this daily cycle. I might even get more aggressive on the 4-hour. I didn't get in on the PIVX. No, Santiago, I didn't. Stan, you're in Polis. Are you gonna recommend them? All right, that's kind of frustrating. Their setup sucks. I think a lot of these master nodes, I mean, with me not really knowing anything about it, I don't even know how to set one up. But just from a market perspective, a lot of people chase some of this stuff a lot higher. So to me, this is probably a good spot to be picking some of that up. I mean, if you put together a master node a lot cheaper, right? Down at 4 than at 16. But PIVX looks good. If you can get above 6, you're gonna start making higher highs again. I mean, the way I would trade this, I'd buy some here in the 4 handle. I'd double my position in the 2 handle, and anything close to 0, I'd double it again. Then you'd have an average of it like $2 or underneath $2, and then it's just a matter of waiting for a ramp up. It's kind of how I'd play that, you know. You spent 4 hours setting that up, Stan? Oof. Hey, what's up, Chris? You're bearish BTC? What time frame? We're long and short. Short term bearish, intermediate term semi bearish, very light short in futures, and then long term bullish is all hell. Multi duration. What time frame, Chris, are you playing it? Oh yeah. I kind of went over it, but we've been shorting the bounces near term. I may add a little bit longer term at 7,300. The only thing I've really bought longer term is Ethereum lately. A little some nibble back on Cardano and Salt. There's probably a couple others I'm forgetting. I've been pretty patient though. So you guys, yeah, you like PIVX, All Q. I've heard that one. What about the smart nodes? Aren't you guys running some smart nodes? Man, these are like free. These are like free. How much is it? How much is it to run a smart node? Do you guys still like those? Stan, my short on BTC. Yeah, I'll just flip over real quick. I'm gonna cover a little bit. I'm gonna cover a little bit of euro versus the pound here. So what I was talking about earlier is just trading around these 1 minute cycles and these 5 minute cycles. You sell the rally, and I start covering down here. You know, it's $40 right there while I'm talking to you guys. My BTC, my near-term short was, well, I was a little bit short from yesterday, kind of like a day trade short. I ran overnight. I don't really consider that a core position. My real core position is longer term long. But I just had a little bit short from yesterday, and then I offered into here. I sold $80.12. I covered a piece already too. No. I'm bidding for that piece. I wanted to sell more up here too, like 81.40. I'm trying to cover this piece I sold earlier. Just playing this near-term downtrend. Short, cover, short, cover, short, cover. I didn't short this one. I was actually a little bit long. I flipped and went short. But it's 1,000. Is 1,000 coin stand for smart node or 10,000? 10,000, I thought. Geo knows. Geo, do you like that one? You guys, are you still good on the smart's awful right now? What's awful about it? I mean, the price is low as hell, but that's an opportunity down here. You know, I think if you could buy your node here, wouldn't you rather buy it there than up at $2? And then when this price starts to ramp again, you're going to have some nice capital gains, and then you can just keep mining the coin, and you're banking even more. I mean, I'm not as experienced as you guys with this masternode stuff and the mining side, but to me, I know I would want to be taking the majority of my position low, accumulating, just like you trade the chart. And then when you get the ramp up, come out of some of that, you have a nice windfall, you have nice short-term capital gains. And then if the price can hang out at much higher levels, whatever I mined, I would be selling half the cash right away. And then I'd be holding some for more gains and then just keep trading it around. And then you get a big move. I would be shit. If you could buy 2 or 3 master nodes, and I'd be trying to sell the master node to somebody else when it gets all hyped up. I don't know if that makes sense. Payout bug. The payout's slower. Wow, they did 11,000. That's pretty amazing. I guess that the masternode concept really caught on, huh? I think that's something I think that's gonna stick. Something to continue for sure. What does it pay out? 2.5 to 4 payouts? Is it how many coin does it pay out then per 1,000 per 10,000. I mean, this thing is just like you have such little risk back to zero here, and you have all kinds of upside. I think this is going to explode. This chart. This is going to have another ramp. It's going to be ridiculous. Even as a trade, I'm gonna pick up some of this. And this chart's probably going back to $1 at some point. I'm just I'm charting it versus HitB. I'm not sure how accurate it is. Is it still trading on Cointopia? Santiago, you mean the VIX on the S&P? I think that's a pretty good deal. 190 coins per payout. That's just free coin. I don't know. Oh, see if we can ramp it up. All right. What else do we want to look at? We're getting some pretty good ideas. I didn't realize that Smart was that low. Are there any of the bigger cap names that run masternodes? I mean, I know Dash. I want to get some bigger money trading some of this minor stuff going on. Start making $500,000 $1 million investments in this stuff. As I think Binance coin looks really strong. It was one of the first coins to make a new high. So remember how I talked about on BTC that 12,000 level is where we got to get out to break the long term to new highs. Well, that Binance already did that. So you can see how for my traders, you guys know phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But when we broke the bands here, this was the uptrend, right? You broke this low, you broke the bands, that put in motion new lower lows. So that these are all phase 1 lower lows, right? These are your lower highs. And then this right here is a higher low, which is phase 2. And then you actually move back to phase 1 again, another lower low. And then we got another higher low. And then guess what? This was your phase 3 right here. So you have Binance, one of the first coins to move back bullish. I mean, we would be making a big deal if the BTC chart did this, for sure. So I think, Binance is definitely leading the way here. And it makes sense for their community. how fast they're growing. We've always been pretty bullish on this token. I think longer term, it's going to be at new highs. So this is actually a pretty good pullback. The daily cycle is kind of rolled over. A lot of the market, the daily cycles have kind of rolled over. Probably means for a pretty soft, a softer week. But I added back some here. I'll buy more towards 10. Definitely want to think like this on Binance. VeChain, Walton Chain has some master nodes. I didn't know that. Or I think, well, you mentioned that yesterday, Gio. What are the VeChain ones run? You guys are pretty bullish them, right? They seem pretty good to me. Mayo just bought 11.59. Nice. What's up, Megastroke? That was a nice username. Still having troubles getting filled on this BTC, this bid. If I should step up on that. Megastroke, do I use my pi number as the dividing line between bull and bear? A little bit. Oh, Stan, I know I jump around sometimes. On the GDP, I want to look into the GDP some more. I was kind of talking about how I think it's going to roll over, but I'll have some more work on that for my guys tomorrow. I'll put in the chat room. But yeah, Megastroke on the pi line. I use the moving averages in several different ways. So let's just go back to Bitcoin. When you want to look at the long-term chart, so I teach my traders one of the simple ways to identify a bull market is to look at the direction of the longer term moving averages. You never want to trade bullish or bearish, or you definitely don't want to be pressing the buy button and the sell button, whether you're above or below a moving average. One of my early head traders, when I was learning fixed income, liked to use the 30-day, and 30-day is a good moving average, but he was kind of elementary, I would say, in the way that he wanted to trade around it. So the 30-day does a good job of kind of catching the middle of the moves. If you put a Bollinger Band, which is a lot of people use, Bollinger Band, or if you use any type of standard deviation or regression channel, it's going to put the 30 basically right in the middle. So what tends to happen is that's a good line for kind of a price to ebb and flow, reverting to the mean. So you will tend to get a lot of higher highs and higher lows at or near the 30. But you can also have that happen on the 50. The 50-day, you'll get the same type of higher lows a lot of times. All right. And then I like to use these exponential moving average bands because it tends to catch the really important higher lows. You can see that. See, it does a pretty good job. It gives a good visual, a good wave formation. And then, but my point is that if you're trying to trade around being bullish above a moving average and bearish below it, you're going to get dinged up and twisted up like crazy. And I used to try to, when I was really, really just starting to trade, I did that. And you find out that that doesn't really work. The better way to think about these is these moving averages or these areas on the chart are exactly that. They're areas. So you think of it like a rope in the boxing ring. You can think about it as a chain link fence. So they give, right? The last thing you want to be doing is taking a long because you're above the 30 and then the price dips below it and then you go short only to basically sell the low and then the market moves to a new high. So these are areas. So it depends on how you work these dips on your position size and what setups you take to take advantage of the uptrend. So I care more about the direction of the moving average. I don't care necessarily whether you're above or below it. Now, when you start to look at the longer term ones like the 200, and to answer your question about pi, I care about whether or not price is above the pi line or below it. I call that the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. So there's a lot more to trading than just saying, hey, we're above pi. I want to buy every single dip. And at the same time, like if we were to poke through it right here, I'm not going to be getting short because we still have this 6,000 level low. But this is an area. But if you wanted a simple way to help define a bull market, what that looks like, it's a market that has a rising 200. But a lot of times too, you'll see CNBC, like you can see CNBC calling Facebook in a bear market just because its percentage drop. But Facebook hasn't really cracked any of its longer term higher lows to make it officially a bear market. It's just had a really significant pullback. So just because something's down by a percentage, that doesn't define a bull or bearish trend. It's all about the higher lows, and you got to figure out which higher lows matter. And same thing, like look at Bitcoin. If you have people that are just trading bullish above the 200, and then all of a sudden, and believe me, there was a lot of people that want to be short because we cracked the 200, and all those guys sell the low. So this is a perfect example of why you do not want to do that. It doesn't work. And then nobody has really our pi line on their chart. That's just something that only our community knows, and that's exactly where the market held. That's a cyclical phenomenon. So there's a little teaching lesson there. My back's bothering me. Every Bollinger Band I've used is usually the 30. If you use 2 standard deviations. I mean, you can change it to whatever settings you want. Yeah. We can talk a little bit about equities if you guys want. I mean, I was selling Apple calls here on my Apple long. I had sold some 72 calls. I think I bought when we were up here at 175. We basically failed in front of pi. I was buying 165 puts. I'm actually going to hold those in case we break 165. But I was selling calls on this rally, and I covered those calls today. So some of that stuff was up 50, 60%. So when the market bounced, then I start selling the at the money calls or just slightly out of the money. And then as the market rolls over, you want to cover those calls because you're short those calls. So I thought Apple could rally this morning. Looks like it's trying. Big picture hasn't really gone anywhere. I mean, big picture, it's in the middle of its big picture range. Your 4 hour, you're right hanging out at pi, but you see how pi is rising. We've already traversed it. The daily has done a little bit better job. So we held pi here on Apple on the daily. I still think there's room to maybe test back in the 150s, the high 150s. So if that happens, I'm going to cover my puts and then buy more stock. If we rally from here, I'm just going to resell my calls. That's how I'm playing that one. Kind of the same thing on the overall market. S&Ps, we had a great call to be coming out of longs and or short, top of the range. Now we're kind of closer to the bottom of the range. Everybody's going to have this 200 and futures right here, 2,600. I still kind of think there might be one more push back to pi, 2,500. And then you want to be a buyer. We may even not get this is all the same area, 2,500, 2,550. So this is the buy zone, just like this is the sell zone. Same thing when we were up here. I said you want to be long the VIX. Now we're at the top end of the range on the VIX. We could blow it out a little bit more. If we get another big move down, this is probably going to blow out again, 135.40. But I took my VIX calls off. Oh, Santiago, what ag features did you want to look at? What's up? What's up, Dama, brother? Yeah, I talked about BTC a little bit. We're stuck in a range. There's an intermediate term range, 7,300 to 9,300. Then the wider range, 6,000 to 12,000. But we're really just in a sideways big picture range trade for Bitcoin. Soybeans. Commodities is actually, I think I'm going to make the call that I think the next 2 to 3 years, commodities is going to really outperform some of the other major markets. I don't know if I have soybeans on my TD Ameritrade. I don't know if I paid for their ICX quotes. I'm drawing a blank. You guys know the soybean symbol? ZS? Oh yeah, thanks. Okay, good. I do get it. Monthly. So this is commodities peaked in 2011. Soybeans peaked actually 2012. But if you look at the basket or the overall commodity market, gold peaked in 2011 and started the bear market since then. And then the market, 2015 was the low. 2016, we kind of made a new high, but that put the floor in and we've been going sideways. And I think the next big picture move is this way. So maybe that's not the beginning part of this year. Maybe it's the back half of this year. But from a cyclical standpoint, the next longer term cycle is going to be up. I mean, you got a lot of commodities that are really, commodities aren't going to go to zero. So they've been completely out of favor for years. I think the next big move is higher. The monthly cycle had a pretty good low off the 2016 low, Santiago, in June. So if I had bought stuff down there, you got to be taking some off into the bands here with this monthly cycle. And it's not quite ready for prime time because you got to get above the bands. Let's see if the weekly. So this is the sideways range trade I'm kind of was talking about. So the market's basing, it's just not quite ready to go. This was the low. This is a higher low. This is a really long-term inverse head and shoulders. If we start to get above here, I think we're going to retest 2016 high. The weekly cycle's coming back down. Might be another good buy in a couple of weeks. I think it's time to start working some positions on the long side of some of the grains and soft stuff for sure. And the metals. I mean, I've been trading gold on the long side, which I haven't really done very much of the last couple of years. So I kind of like this pullback on the daily, this is the weekly zoomed in. I mean, I'm a buyer back here. 1,000. The daily are back at the bands. I might start a core long here, actually. Are you long soybeans, Santiago? Santiago does some farming. So does Mark in our crypto team. Silver, yeah. Well, we can look at gold and silver. Looks like I got filled, guys, on my BTC on the short side. $78.92. I got hit. That's good. They're coming back into the lows. The low near-term support on BTC. I'm still a little bit long Dragon. I might sell a little bit of cable. 15-minute cycle is kind of high. I was just looking at on Sterling here, day trade. We've had a really strong move down. So I played this a little bit short yesterday and then got to cover some today. And then now we've got this nice wall and this bounce back up with the 15-minute being kind of high. You can start to short this bounce again. Play that near-term bearish trend. You guys see that? So I just sold a little bit into this bounce. I think you're probably going to retest 140.70 down here. We'll see. I'm going to sell more all the way back to 140.150. This low support right here, 41.33, right at the bands, 41.30. I'll start hitting it with some bigger size right there. Yeah, so soybeans look good. Wheat looks good back here. It had a little bit of this move up, which I think got a lot of people's attention, probably sucked in some capital, but that's good. I mean, the more and more that happens, look at this downtrend that we finally broke. So that was part of the pop a couple of years ago, was you had all these lower highs, and we finally changed the TMS. That was the first pop. We based another pop. And I think the next big cycle move is a lot higher on wheat. That weekly cycle is still on a downturn, but maybe first part of April, you'll get another shot on the weekly. The daily looks good right here, back at pi. So that market looks good. Yeah, Santiago, I agree. I mean, there is a chance you could have stocks and bonds sell off. And then where's the capital going to go? Either going to go into the dollar, people are just going to sell assets and sit in dollars, or they're going to put money to work in commodities, especially if they start to break out. It'll just be reflexive. The capital will just chase the performance. So I think that there's a really high probability that plays out the next couple of years. I don't know why this chart's not loading. Oh, there it goes. I've talked about the gold market a lot. Same thing. Here's the peak in 2011, broke into a bear market 2013. You had a 3-year bear market. The low was at the end of 2015. And then we've been in this sideways base for a couple of years. And it's not quite ready for prime time, but it's getting close. I mean, I think we're pretty close to a breakout. Maybe it's the back half of the year. So you can start to trade it from the long side, but once we clear 3.25, you want to be adding 13,000. I mean, 1,375. Get above this high. And then silver obviously will follow. Silver will probably even rally even more percentage wise. I mean, look at just like Bitcoin had all the attention. Silver had all the attention in 2010 and 2011. Everybody wanted to trade silver. And now you don't ever hear, CNBC bringing up silver. But this was the top of the long-term cycle. Here's your bear market that started. And then again, that bottomed in 2015, changed the phase 3 basically to a new uptrend in 2016, but then it settled back into this base. So longer term, yeah, I think we're going a lot higher on silver. Do you guys see that? You're kind of starting to see the market the same way. I mean, yeah, there's a chance you could break 15 and you could fall back to these lows. Anything's possible. But big picture cycle is probably the next move is back up longer term. Wouldn't it be interesting to see silver rally, BTC rally, and I can just see the headlines now. It's the race between the old gold and the new digital gold. That could happen, especially if we have like a debt crisis, which is a very high likelihood. bonds get crushed, governments are going broke, monetary systems all freaking in panic mode and contagion everywhere. Gold and silver rally, Bitcoin rallies. You might even see the dollar rally on that. I could see the dollar going either way. Bond market's been very boring trade. It's just a one-way market. Just want to be short. It's like I haven't traded it much. This weekly's coming back up. There's a little bit of an inflation rolling over. We had the reflation trade that everybody was so panicked about in January, and now inflation's kind of rolling back over if you look at it, the actual cycle. So that's part of why bond yields are coming down and prices have bounced a little bit. The bond market, I think, is pricing that in. But this is a rally that we actually want to be shorting into. I've been pretty patient. Now that I kind of look at the bands here, probably should start to short some bigger size on this daily cycle. Let the weekly come back up a little bit more. The low support that broke from 2016's 122.5 and 10-year futures, I'd be a seller there for sure. 30 days coming down. Nice sales on cable. Yeah, I had a tiny 5-year long on. I was playing a steepener, long five, small, short tens. My overall net position is net short bonds, though. I don't have the risk weighted to where where it would be if I was really playing the steepener. I'm just short fives and I'm short the same amount of tens, so I'm net short. But as the fives bounce, I'm probably going to just get out of my fives and just stay short duration. 5-year can't bounce. Look at this. I mean, the front end of the bond market's just been decimated. So we're at 2 standard deviations here from the mean of the price action going all the way back to 2013. The front end is definitely oversold, but I mean, you should expect that with a Fed that's raising rates. 2-year smoked. That doesn't mean you take a long though by any means. I'll probably start shorting tens first, and maybe wait to sell 30s at like another point higher, 147, and even ultras maybe back at like 161. So as the market rallies, you sell the tens first. If it goes against you, then you get to sell the bonds higher. If that goes against me, then I sell the ultras even higher, because ultras, if you guys don't know, is a very long end futures contract. It's going to move a lot. So it moves. These are big points. This is 6 points off the low. 30-year, 4 points off the low. 10-year, 3 points, 3 points off the low. 5-year, a point off the low. So that's one way to play that too. There's pretty good support at 161 that broke. That's going to be resistance. We might even fail right here in ultras. Maybe you buy some puts. I have to look at that. Yeah, this is the Ultra T-bond futures contract. We call that the beast. It moves a lot. I mean, it's up 21 ticks today. That looks like an altcoin chart. That's true though. You think you were talking about silver there, Dims? Yeah. Well, guys, we're still kind of in this soft crypto market. It trades like a wet Kleenex. You just slam the wet Kleenex on the wall and it just sits there and just kind of drips lower. It trades like a wet Kleenex. That's some pretty good trades on Dragon here. I think I'm gonna go hang out with my girls, do some stuff outside. Are you guys are some of you joining the a couple of you signed up for coaching? If you guys are, I've got plenty of spots, so you can get a lot of attention. We do a lot of work every day on just getting better as a trader. So if any of you guys are interested in that, I mean, it's an easy sign up. And that's kind of my team. So if anybody that's on the group coaching, I mean, you pretty much have my attention, and it's kind of as a mentor, so I really try to help my live team that we trade together every day. So I got guys that have been with me for 2-3 years. Some of them quit their jobs or trading full time, all different backgrounds. Some are literally brain surgeons that live overseas in Europe. Some, one of my newer guys I'm really proud of was one of the top opera singers in Italy. So it just goes to show you, if you're willing, I can help you get there. It's just a matter of sticking to the process, being disciplined, just like any great athlete. You got to come in and work on your craft every day. So that's kind of what we want to do here. But if you guys are interested in that, I don't know how many new people are watching. It's just jenkinsrm.com. There's a chat room that we've been referencing. It's free to join there. And then here's all the education. So this is our crypto room, real-time alerts. I've been considering going back to pulling out a real-time alerts product for all markets. It's just so time consuming. If there would be a way that we can automate it, I mean, I really want to I don't know if I'm going to be able to focus on that many markets if we're building out Rhythm and have assets under management on the digital asset side. But I mean, I know that's a great service. I mean, if we're talking about being long wheat or commodities and, hey, what's gold doing? And Jason, are you short in tens yet? What's the model say? But anyway, here's a trading course, guys. That's a great way to just learn the model. And then here's our group coaching, our live webinar setting. But guys, do me a favor too, kind of smash the thumbs up on the YouTube. It would help. I guess we would probably need more comments in the sections on some of our videos and stuff too. Maybe I should give like an altcoin giveaway every day or something to get people to comment. But Ritas was reminding me to have people like the videos, etc. Oh, May, you did? Okay, awesome. Were you over on the altcoin army? All right, yeah, we'll make some money. Yeah, guys, it's possible. I mean, LW just paid off 100 grand in student loans thanks to the model and just what we got going on. Just how we do every day. Oh, I didn't share it. I'm sorry. Typical. Nice job, Jason. All right, so jenkinsrm.com. jenkinsrm.com. Right here, guys. This is the home page. This is our chat room. All right, and then this is the crypto. This is it's crypto. Here's is the paid room. And then this is the trading course. And Live room. Oh, Trent. Trent's sneaking in. What's up, buddy? How many miles did you ride today? Bitcoin 3,500 below. So does that mean you're short? Maybe. I don't think it's worth talking about 3,500 though until he breaks 6. Might not even get a retest to 6. All right. Oh yeah, nice. So you've been a big bear. It's been a good trade. Congrats. Probably closer to the low end of the range. It just depends how you trade it. We've been day trade short, day trade long different times. I still have an intermediate term hedge. So all right, guys, I'm starving. Good live session. 25? Oh, all right. Now I gotta go work out. All right. Anyway, guys, good session. I'll see some of you in the chat room. We can talk some more in there. And some of you I'll see in the morning. Guys, enjoy the rest of your trading day. All right. You're welcome. Welcome. Peace, guys. Later.